This is True Buzz, that Mary J. Now we ain't new to this. For my stoners and for my cannabis enthusiasts, never heard a show as good as this. Number one, it's the best. Bringing in many special guests in the industry of cannabis. Business owners to growers, even artists you know of. So sit back and just roll up. Perfect show for my smokers. True Buzz, hey.
What's up, my friends? Welcome to the True Buzz Show podcast. If you're watching, you can see we're in a different studio today. We're outside here in the Granadas Hills area. Kind of crazy. I'm taking a break here real quick. I was gonna go to the top and just kind of post up with you guys and shoot there, but ran into like some type of wild dog, coyote came down the hill. There was another one up top. So I was like, picked up a big rock, stared it down, threw a little rock to scare it away, and it worked. Before we get more into the podcast, I learned a lesson one time with my older brother, and I was with my younger brother too. So it was the three of us, and we're at my uncle's farm, right? Our car was dead, so we had to go walk over, extremely rural area. So we had to go walk over and ask for a jump start from the neighbor. We knock on the neighbor's door. They let 3 dogs out on us. Woof, woof, woof. They start running at us, trying to get us. And me and my little brother, just being young and stupid, start running our asses off. And my older brother, thank God, was like, stop and stare them down. So we did. We stopped, stared them down. They stopped. If my older brother wasn't there and we kept running, would have been a different story, I imagine. Probably would have been fighting a dog. So you might be saying, yo, why are you outside right now shooting a podcast? That's kind of weird. I know it is. But the thing about it is I had one planned today talking primarily about flavonoids. I have kind of a little presentation there. And then I also have some articles I wanted to refer to during that podcast. But my neighbor's throwing some like Sunday rager, bumping his music. I was like, I'm gonna wait it out. And I was like, fuck it. I'm gonna step outside a little bit today, switch up the vibe, and do a podcast like this. I hope the audio is not trash. I have my lapel mic here, but I know we have some wind coming through, so I'm gonna try to find somewhere where I can kind of stop off and get away from the wind. It's actually died down right here for a second, so let's chill right here. Somebody too told me they saw a rattlesnake earlier, which was interesting. I had my tripod there, was, like I said, planning on using it. But I figured I'd come today, since I'm kind of pivoting my plans here, and come to you and just talk about pivoting in cannabis and my story in general. On True Buzz TV, I've done tons of stories talking about how I got into cannabis, what it means to me, all that good stuff. And I figure I'll share it with you now. So the first component here, when we're thinking about, sometimes having to make that quick pivot, you just gotta go with it, go with the flow. We'll see what happens with this. This could end up being, a trash ass podcast, not gonna lie. Audio might not be the best. I didn't have anything really planned. I'm just kind of going with it. Or there might be some gems in here we can pull out, and hopefully you just get to know me a little better. I've been doing tons of hikes lately, drinking some of this Koan Play, the new company I'm working for. We'll dive into that later. Excuse me, we got a helicopter. Can we catch that? Yeah, there it is. Flying right by. So drinking some of that, but it's just always been important to me to be able to make that movement and be able to do it and believe in it. And there's other companies, who are selling tangible products, whether it's flower, vapes, edibles, and they've had to pivot their businesses depending on what they have. For instance, if they have flower, they're selling for certain flower. Maybe their batch for that flower wasn't what they planned. It's not up to par. They have to do something else. Maybe they make that into vapes. Maybe there is a vape company who pivots to a beverage company, et cetera, et cetera. But it's just a huge component of this game. And I think it's really interesting, and I talk about it all the time, is that how much cannabis has forced creativity in the world, in the space, because we're not able to do the traditional forms of advertising that all these other brands and companies can. However, on that note, I heard that, saw an article and my boss posted about it, was Twitch started to allow for cannabis advertising. That is huge. My buddy Brant's been telling me to get on there forever. Brant's really cool dude, Hot City Records. We did a podcast, check it out. But he's like, dude, you gotta get on Twitch. It's popping. He's telling me this like 2 years ago, but I've been slacking, But let me take it back from the beginning, where it all really started. So it was my 8th grade summer. My younger brother found an ounce of some pretty dirt weed in my dad's closet. We split it in half. I knew where a scale was that maybe my brothers had, maybe. And then we split it in half either way. And then he had his half he never touched. I didn't think he should either. He was a year and a half younger than me, and I was enjoying it. So I took that. We smoked that summer. Me and my friends, we smoked it pretty quick because we're like, this is awesome. So we were smoking a lot. And then I was like, okay, I need to actually buy some. So I get a half ounce. The first half ounce I ever purchased, I broke it down and sold it. So I just started selling. And then it was just for free smoke. So I get a half ounce for 160 bucks. I would sell 9 grams. So I'd make like 20 bucks for some Chinese food or something, you know, and then I would have 6 grams of smoke. So I would continue that until I'd move up to an ounce, do eighths, 2 ounces, quarter pound, HPP, and kind of break it out that way. And there's a video that I did that's gotten like pretty good traction, a lot of views actually, like what I learned from selling weed. I'll link that below because for me, the most important thing was just keeping it tight-knit, keeping it close, a close circle of people you could trust, and never getting too over my head, and always with that, trusting my gut. Sometimes I'd have like a weird feeling and I'm like, I need to get the fuck out. So I was doing that throughout high school, slang in college, and then I stopped for a while and I was just smoking. And then I broke my hand in college. Funny story later with my roommate, we got in a drunken tussle. He's gonna be coming on the podcast, we can talk about that. We were all cool like an hour later, and I didn't realize I had my hand broken at the time. But I couldn't work because I was bartending and doing these service industry gigs while I was in college. I broke my hand, all of a sudden I didn't have any paper. I'm like, what could work? How can I get money in? And yeah, sometimes you got to get money in with the greenery, if you know what I'm saying. So at the time I was going to school for theater and film. That's part of the reason I love True Buds TV, making this content for you guys, these podcasts, these videos, is because it's truly a passion of mine for a long time. And I came out to California when I was out here for a little bit. Came in, got the first dispensary I ever went to was Green Goddess in Venice. That was my spot. It was one of the few that would accept out-of-state IDs, is what it was. I lived pretty far away at the time. I was in Hermosa Beach. Excuse me. So then I did a comedy video with weed, and I started doing other videos, and I'm like, dude, I really love this because I'm getting to fuel my passion of film and then my other passion of cannabis. So it all just started out, so I started doing videos, how-tos, grows, all types of stuff. And then I was just having a lot of fun with it. And then I'm like, hey, maybe I could turn this into like an actual business where I start helping other people get their name out, promote them, do content for them. You know, it's really wide open what I can do here in the space. So I've been doing that for years and years. And then recently, when COVID hit, or, you know, COVID's been going on for a minute, so I shouldn't say recently, but when that happened, I was bartending in Redondo Beach and doing True Buds full time too. So, or, you know, like 20, 30 hours a week, bartending 35, 40. So pretty full schedule. And then COVID happened, no more bartending. I said, fuck, I'm gonna use this opportunity for a chance to pivot, for a chance to do cannabis sales. So I was on that grind, you know, talking to some really cool companies, but everything worked out for a reason. I was talking to some edible companies I was really excited about, and a flower company. But then as things happen, as you know, I like to believe sometimes as they should, I got a job working for Pirwana, the first live resin strain specific powder. And this was perfect. And kind of the reason I was able to get this job was the accumulation of everything I'd done.
I'm obviously in my car. Hopefully the audio sounds way better. I hit some serious wind there. So let me just kind of try to wrap it up here. So where was I again? I was saying, oh yeah, so the way I've been able to, and everything's worked out, and I think this is just an overall lesson for me, is that I think about often in life, is when I'm getting stressed, I'm like, hey, I'm doing, as long as I'm making the right steps and making the right moves, I just have to remind myself, because it was a fun buildup. So what has it allowed me to excel in the cannabis beverage world is my prior experience. So well, let me start from the jump too. I've been selling stuff since I was like in first grade. I was selling lipstick, nail polish, then candy, then eventually weed and motorized bicycles later in high school. So I've always loved the sales component, and that's a very crucial skill. And then I would say another really crucial skill that I can add that, you know, a lot of other salespeople can't, is the video production and media side, as well as with that just being, you know, in front of like a on-camera presence and being able to talk on the camera and, you know, just have these podcasts with people and whatnot. I'm not saying I'm the best by any means, but you get better with reps, and I've been putting in a good amount of reps. Last but not least, in the beverage space, just from me bartending and bar managing for, you know, 9, almost 10 years, I have a really solid base of knowledge when it comes to craft cocktails, what it takes to run a bar, cost, etc., all that. So when you combine the sales, you combine the video production and marketing aspects with the beverage knowledge and bar knowledge, I'm trying to separate myself in that way to be the lounge guy, to be the cannabis beverage guy, nationwide in the future. Right now I'm in California. I'm working for Koan Cordials, precision calibrated cannabis cordials. They look just like this. So I have other videos coming. I've talked about it briefly, but let me hop in real quick because I'm super stoked about working for Koan, and we got some really exciting things happening. So we have 7 different SKUs. Play is one of them. All are precision calibrated with different terpenes and cannabinoids to really dial in and give you super consistent effects. And the high is just really unique because it has been dialed in. And I was really impressed the first time I tried it. The first one I tried was Create, which is a 1-to-1, 6 milligrams and 6 milligrams. So they come here, little bottles like this. This is Play here. It's a 9-to-1 or 9-to-3, pardon me. I was like, okay, let me double check. This is actually particularly 9.7 and 3.5. So what we have in here is that's the cannabinoid ratio. Then the primary terpenes are A-pinene is the highest, followed by limonene, ocimene, myrcene, and linalool. So we have the little breakdown here. You can see it has like the most, what we have there. You take it, you can shoot it, you can mix it. I love the taste. I love the taste of botanicals. Play is one of my favorite tasting, probably because of that limonene and pinene in there. So as you see with those tiny bottles, they're good for mixing. Like I said, you can shoot it straight, and we're really going to take on the lounge space because there's nobody else that can really do what we're doing. You know, Pirwana has the powder packets I was working with before. I mean, I still like Pirwana. I still enjoy the live resin powder. However, this is just a different feel, but they do have their similarities being easy to use, discreet. You know, they do have that. Pirwana is more that strain focus, where Koan is really scientifically based, dialing in these cannabinoids and terpenes. It's not like, oh, let's just put it together and put it to market. There's actually a lot of testing that goes into it. There's several R&D phases to get it where it is in this bottle in my car right now. Before I went on the hike, I had one. It was great. I have one when I get home to edit this video. I feel like I'm ranting with you guys here, which I'm known to do on these solo ones, especially if I'm just was random. But yeah, just wanted to get outside, show you guys, you know, Granada Hills. I wish I got a shot of that, you know, wild dog or whatever it was, because it was interesting. See, I hadn't seen that. My heart started pumping a little bit there. You know, when you see something else and your heart starts going, you're like, oh, damn, shit's real out here, man. But yeah, we're going to have tons more podcasts coming. If you haven't checked out the recent ones, please do. They were seriously really good. We had Inspector Ganja, Ishka from Cannabis Babes, and last but certainly not least, Oren from the President of Unrivaled Brands, and I love their stuff. I'm about to go smoke some Corova flower tonight. And if you guys do want to try these Koan cordials, go to koan.life, our website, and use code TrueBudsTV, give you 25% off. And the beauty is we're basically deliver all across California, unless you're in a pretty rural area, and we're working on that. We're talking some delivery service to get out in those areas. But the good news is, if you guys just want to try this, get 25% off, use that code. I mean, if you use it, let me know. I'll try to hook you up with some merch. Actually, in fact, definitely let me know. I'll send you a really cool hoodie. I actually have it right here. If you're watching, people love these hoodies. So right there, I'll hook you up. This is the Balance logo, the little Koan on the front. So if you guys do that, if you do take me up, spend the 25% off, I'll hook you up with a hoodie, which will basically be the cost of the product. But I'd recommend getting a little bulk package, the experience bundle, so you can try them all. Because for me, there's one for every time of the day, my friends. And that's that. We'll wrap it here today. I'm going to get on the road. I'm getting pretty hungry, so I'll talk to you guys soon. Later.
This is True Buzz, that Mary J. Now we ain't new to this. For my stoners and for my cannabis enthusiasts, never heard a show as good as this. Number one, it's the best. Bringing in many special guests in the industry of cannabis. Business owners to growers, even artists you know of. So sit back and just roll up. Perfect show for my smokers. True Buzz, ayy.